Welcome back to the AI Marketer's Playbook, where we cover actionable frameworks to help you leverage AI and marketing strategies in your business. My name is Audrey Chia, your host, and today I have with me a friend and a special guest, Florian Camiade. Now, Florian is an entrepreneur with over 10 years of experience, including 5 years being an expert in marketing. He has been instrumental in creating amazing AI tools such as Blueshell AI, Dash, and Answeria. But not only that, Florian has also co-created the AI-powered Builders Training course, and he is a pro at helping businesses gain visibility through content strategies that integrate AI. Today, we'll be talking all about AI, content marketing, social media, and all things fun. Welcome to the show, Florian.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here and to talk with you again. And I hope I will bring some interesting stuff.
I have been looking forward to this chat. Now, you are one of the most insightful copywriters/marketers using AI on LinkedIn that I have seen, and I have been a huge fan of your content. Can you tell us a bit more about how you got started? What were you doing before AI? And then how you even, dived into the world of AI?
Okay, so to make it short, like a little more than 10 years ago, I was mostly a photographer and a videographer. So I work mostly with entrepreneurs. So I was helping them to have a great image, to make a video for their brand and this kind of stuff. And with the time, I learned more to sell, the selling part, like for me. And it's like with time, I did like less art stuff and more marketing stuff, but naturally, but I was quite bad. And that's why like 5 years ago, it was during the beginning of COVID. It was around this, but it was like just by luck, I started to learn more about marketing. To compensate this, I was like, okay, I know that some parts are missing, and I really want to understand how business work. So then I start to dig way more. I start to do some courses, official courses in France first, and I start to do funnel. Like so, it was my first thing was like doing some basic websites with WordPress, but after that, like doing like ads, like Facebook ads, to a landing page with lead magnets, and after that, for example, sales copy like VSL, like video sales letter, and so big part of the work was like writing stuff, mostly writing stuff, find the good ads, and then find the good copy, the big copy, then do email sequences, all that stuff, and of course create product. So during this moment, I start to do this for me, and I start to do this also for other person. So it start to accumulate like, okay, I know how to do images, video, this kind of stuff, but also kind of know how to write, because I find it quite copywriting to be quite hard. As I like to say, in fact, as you already know that because you're an expert on that point, it's like copywriting is it's easy to do copywriting. It's even easier to do mistakes. But that's what I like to say, like because it sounds simple. So at a certain point, you can see that on LinkedIn, yes, okay, a sentence should be short, this kind of stuff. Yeah, but there's some subtleties you need to understand. It depends on the language, it depends on the niches, all this kind of stuff. So you can quickly get wrong, in fact. So without knowing it, and you do the ads, and then it's complete fail, make a $0, and like, okay, I need to change something, and you need to analyze, okay, is it the ads, or is it the landing page, or is there something on the video? So overall, that's it. And then more than 2 years ago, AI start to appear, and of course, like when you do copywriting, we are all like, what can we do?
Yeah.
Yeah. So of course, we start to dig, and then I start to say, okay. I start to write in public, even though I'm quite bad in English, as you know.
You are not. But okay, anyway, Flo is a great writer. Just check out his content. Okay, please continue.
So I try to do my best. And what happened is I've got a problem. Is I was writing a lot for other people, but nobody was knowing me except some of my customers. And then I got in some problem in my business because I was like nobody. And I said, okay, let's confront myself to the international market and see if I can take attention myself. So I start with but first I start on LinkedIn. And then after 2 days, I was like banned. Like they thought that I was like a bot or no, I don't know, something like this. So I said, let's go on Twitter because I have no choice. It's like, and so I was on Twitter. Now it's X, but it was Twitter at this time. And so I start to write like with two followers and say, okay, let's see what can bring attention. And there was a wave of AI, of course, so it was literally easier at the moment to speak about this. So at this moment, I start to progress, and like 6 months later, a little more, I get back on LinkedIn, so create a new account on LinkedIn, and then I start to post. Because I worked a lot on X, I was already um, trained, let's say, for
Yes.
content creation, because X is a really a difficult platform. I honestly don't recommend it a lot. I think I told you this last year. It's like I mean, I recommend it, yes and no, but it's very, very special. It can be very aggressive, or sometimes there's nothing, like you just tweet in the void. So it can be quite hard. On LinkedIn, it's way more. There's a lot of work to do. But people are more, they react more easily. They talk to you. They don't insult you like for free because there's their face. It's professional, so they don't do. Overall, that's almost. That's not everything, but overall, that's it. And in between this, I start to work with Paul Couvert. It's Paul Couvert, like what I say the T at the end. Paul Couvert, who so first I helped him to go on social media, and he became really successful, and now he continued to do that. And he's a more, let's say, he's an AI guy who is a more builder, who's a very technical guy, and so I continue to work with him and the projects like Blueshell AI and all the stuff you mentioned at the beginning. It's mostly with him that I'm doing that. So that's I think the main thing.
It's so amazing that you actually made so many pivots, and you started off as a photographer or someone in the design space, right? But it's really interesting to see, like, I think that same creative thread that you had, because I'm sure that, as a photographer, as someone who is interested in creativity, you are already thinking of ideas, but that now the ideas just get translated as words or as copy and marketing, right? Do you feel like that has been that journey for you, being able to translate creativity in other forms?
Yes, that's an interesting topic because we speak a lot about creativity, and I'm mostly a creative guy at the start, so the photography, and before that, it's not really important, but I was a musician, I was a professional
Oh,
musician.
wow.
It was like completely non-connected, but I was doing jig, and I'm not afraid to speak and to play in front of people, but there's a lot of creative part on this for sure. So for me, when I start to write, the concept of creativity it's not new for me. Like it's normal. Like it's like it was my daily thing. The hardest thing was in fact, to put this on paper. It's like let's slow down because I was not a guy who was writing a lot, even maybe not writing at all. So I was only doing like let's say design stuff or musical stuff. So when I start to write, it was like um, I had to focus. It was hard to focus, but it was more easy to find idea, I would say.
Yeah.
So the creative part it helps definitely.
Please send us some links to your musician days. We would love to listen to that. I will be sure to link it in this podcast. But coming back to the topic of AI agents, right? So you're talking about working with Paul, not just to grow his LinkedIn, but to really figure out how do you bring AI agents to the world. I think the term AI agents is still very new to many people. Can you tell us a bit more about what exactly are AI agents and how are you and Paul collaborating on building agents that actually work?
So that's the question of the moment. It's like the difference between agents and automation. There's still a lot of confusion about that. Automations, let's say first, even AI automations, it exists since before AI. We just add the ChatGPT things around this. It's really like you do like a sequence of trigger. This person click on this, then they receive this email, and go on this website, and they do this. And it's really strict. The agent AI, they need to think. So that's why now we have the reasoning models. So difference, let's say, if an automation can scrap on a website, but if a website it thinks something's changed about a website, there's an update, the automation will be broken. I can't find the button, something like this. Where an agent can think. So it will check, I can't find the button anymore. Maybe it's another place. So we will dig more and we'll we think and find the new button or something else. So mostly that's the difference. It's why it's autonomous. It's not a real person. You don't need to exaggerate, but it thinks. So both are complementary. Okay, they're complementary. You need automation in your parts to have something very strict sometimes. But now we have the ability to have something that when there's a problem, can solve a problem. So the agent can solve a problem, but in a very specific way, depending on how it is created.
Oh, interesting, right? Because I think a lot of people still think that AI is something where you give a set of instructions to, but it seems that agents are able to problem solve by themselves, right? And my question to you is there has been a lot of talk about how agents are not quite there yet, and some people, call automations agents. So there's still a lot of confusion. But what is, for example, one use case where you and Paul are working on, right? Where you actually have that AI agent, being able to think and then create the output that you're looking for. What is an example of something that is already possible right now?
Oh, okay, so let's try to give an example that is not too much complex. Oh, let's be ready. It's quite boring. Usually, it's for boring stuff. It's very powerful. But for example, it's like when someone, let's say, you have an entrepreneur who is doing, I don't know, is selling really pricey stuff like I don't know, home. Something like this, and usually they have a lot of information about their customers, like in an Excel. Um, they have a lot of stuff, but really like hundreds sometimes of criteria, and they have a lot of call and go back and forth like this, and they need to adjust the things. A good example on this is, for example, an agent can, for example, analyze a transcript of a conversation with a customer and understand if the customer, the potential customer is like saying that he wants, I don't know, he wants a place at this town specifically, and then the agent can, okay, I understand that he wants to be in this town, and the agent will correct this or add this in the Excel, for example, by himself. And that's an example that is quite boring, but it help a lot companies to win time, because they a lot of call. So this one is a boring example, I admit, but the agent still acts. So it will write something. So it will here take this in the conversation and put the information in the good place, and can act more if we say, okay, if you want to act more to draft an email or to draft anything, he can do that.
Wow. And I would love to know, right? So from someone who perhaps is just using like ChatGPT to create different workflows and then using, Zapier to link different workflows, what would be the difference between building out a workflow where you're using a tool like Zapier to just, link different things versus having an agent to do that for you? What is that main difference for someone who is, still very new to this?
Yeah. So to be honest, I think for a lot of people, Zapier is still enough. Let's say, if your automation is good for you, you don't really need to change this. It's because an agent for now is still quite long to build. It's quite difficult to build it. At the end, if you have really like a specific need. When I say specific needs, is like always the same stuff that repeat, and there's no need to solve a problem. Okay, it's not something complex. Automation is enough, and Zapier will be enough in a lot of situations. If you need, like I said before, like to adapt, to change some parts, and you want something like can think about this, then an agent is useful. Which means that, in my opinion, agent for now, this kind of agent are more useful if you have a lot of data, a lot of things that are more moving, and that's why it's very good if you're an entrepreneur. It's very good to know how to build it. It will be easier and easier to build it, but to help other entrepreneurs. But I mean, at a certain point, I think it's good to start with automation. For a lot of people, if you don't have a lot of data, a lot of things that move, automation are enough.
I think it's very interesting to explore the potential of agents. Like even now, it's already so powerful, and I can see like, how it can have a lot more use cases in the future. What do you think are some potential use cases for agents in maybe marketing or copywriting? What do you think could be the future of, marketing even? I always think about it because like it's very easy for us now to use AI, but I think once you have agents that are capable of thinking for themselves, then I do think that it can be exciting, but also a bit scary. So I wanted to get your thoughts on, what could a very real future for us look like?
But there's so many stuff that's going to happen. But in my opinion, of course, there are people that can lose their job because he can do a lot of stuff. But what I like is, as a marketing guy, I would say what I really like is the ability, like a deep research, thing like this. If it can go deeper, for now, deep research is really good, but not enough for me. It's like if it's really like something that search for like all the competitors, and understand the value of the competitors, because that's the thing. It's like, oh, they can show you competitors, but sometimes you go on the competitors and you see that the guy has not a lot of engagement, or he's not really don't do much money, in fact. So on this, I think it's not good enough. So when it will be good enough, it's like for complete marketing analysis, like you're like, okay, I need to do an MVP on a project. It's long, it's boring. I can just ask AI, so I know if it's a blue ocean or no.
Yes.
And this on this is like, because if not, you lose a lot of time after you work, and you're, oh, in fact, it was not the place to be. So for the agent, I think I will really like a powerful marketing agent at the beginning, like can understand the competitors, the MVP. I can say, no, you should not go in this niche. That's will be not saying especially yes, but saying don't go on that, because it will be really hard. So that's something that's I think is going to happen, and I would really like to happen.
Like what you said about the research part of things, right? A lot of copywriting isn't about the copy, but the research and then the audience psychology, and then figuring out even like what are your value propositions. And these are things that perhaps having AI to do the heavy lifting for you can really then, free up your time so you can just focus on like finding the insights that matter and then crafting the actual copy, right? And in your opinion, Florian, like for example, when it comes to copywriting and marketing, even without AI, because I also know you're an expert at this, right? What are some basic foundational tips that people should know before integrating AI? And also, when they think about integrating AI, what should they do then? Because I think there are two groups of people out there, people who haven't even mastered copywriting but want to, and then people who have some understanding but don't know how to use AI.
Okay, so I know that you're already an expert in this topic. My opinion on this is, you still need to do a big part of the work. Not a big part, but you still need to they said the brain. You still need to put some brain in this, because the writing parts are first. Don't use AI if you don't understand the stuff. So I can see a lot of people that they will copy copywriting stuff with AI from someone else, but it's obvious that they don't understand it. And then it sounds like everybody that uses AI. So it's like on paper, you look at the copywriting, it seems good, but there's something like very generic, this generic feel. So this, if you're a beginner and if you don't understand, this is very common. So it's like it's empty because usually don't create a lot of stuff, and then you don't understand. And what happens is you call your customer, and they realize that, of course, when you speak, you can feel that the person know the topic or not. You can see. You can now there's already a lot of people that are in that situation. So that's why there's a lot of creators, small creators, that only write. They never do live, they never appear, and don't speak. And sometimes I speak to them like, oh, you don't want to do something? No, I prefer to write. Okay. Usually it's because you don't know your topic, you just copy from someone else. So copywriting, for me, the trap, the first thing is to not do your part of the work. You still need to have some brain, still need to read and to understand. And the AI can help you to take the most important stuff and to correct you in a lot of ways. That's the second part. So for people who are already like doing copywriting, usually what happens is you're like, oh, but I'm better writer myself. I hear a lot of that, lot of time, like I can write myself. Why should I think it's not that good? Also, a lot of people, they use ChatGPT like 1 year ago, and now it's completely different. Now we have ChatGPT 4.5, which I think is, for writer is even better, in my opinion. But even for it's really really good if you know how to use it. And so, for example, if you're already a writer, of course, you first need to do a swap file of what you do
Yes.
to use. So it's basic for us, but everybody should do that. Like just do a swap file, like on Google Docx, and then you have it. And you can use, for example, a ChatGPT project or a Cloud project. Everything you choose the tools you prefer. So you can copy your tone. So that's the first thing. But still, for the research of ideas, it can help. I still think that if you're a copywriter, for example, it's really good to adapt format. For example, you are doing carousels and you know it, you want to adapt it to the post, a single post. You already did the big stuff. You understand your topic, there's your style, and then you say, okay, AI, please do this in my style, but for Instagram, do this for whatever. So
Yeah.
when you're already a writer, I think you should definitely continue to write, but you should also help yourself as much as you can. Especially for me, it's to recycle stuff and to adapt formats. I think for this, it's really, really great. And of course, correct, because sometimes, I would say, I will go on this after, but to correct like some ideas or sentences, like specific one, the reasoning models are interesting. Like you can say, okay, can you roast what I'm doing on this about section, for example? And I did that, and I was like really impressed. Like it's like speaking to another expert copywriter. So if you're already quite just basics, you have basics in copywriting, you can understand, the conversation with the AI and understand, like really telling you, okay, this sentence, this word is maybe a little too much for your audience. And so you can go back and forth and they say, you can change this. And so there's really like a debate, like with an expert. So for this, but for copywriter, if you're already writing stuff, it's really powerful to mix the ChatGPT like 4.5 to write stuff and adapt it. But it's really powerful to speak with reasoning models, so they can really like challenge your brain, challenge your mind, and you're like, in fact, that's a good idea or not. And it's really good because you can say to the AI, okay, no, I don't like this idea. You explain why, and then the AI will say, okay, I understand. It's like speaking to someone who's really good. And then you say, okay, let's adapt it. And at the end, you take some time, but the results are really, really insane because you don't have to. It's not like you're alone doing your copy and thinking, is it good or not? Just ask a model like O1 or 3 Mini. It's really like so much value.
Yeah, oh my gosh. And I think what you have done is really demonstrated the power of not only utilizing copywriting, but understanding AI, like how you are picking different models for different use cases in your copywriting flow is a beautiful blend of your own, mental thought processes, as well as leveraging the best of each AI model to get to like the final output. And I think that is beautiful. I would also love to see if you have a demo for us of how you actually combine, your thought processes with AI and how does that actually look like?
Okay, so I can show some stuff. I will share my screen if I can on the button here. Okay, let's try. I'm discovering the okay. So I will share my entire screen. Everything. Okay. So you should. Can you see? Okay. Yes. Can you see now my screen?
Yes, we can see your
Yes,
screen now.
yes, everything. As you can see, you don't have a lot of tabs open. That's normal. So, yeah. So okay. So for example, I will show you the example with Paul. Oh, okay. So this is the page of Vancouver for AI agents, as you can see. So here he's selling his service. So it's a service page. Let's imagine this. And with this, we did that with AI. So I did the copy, and here there's a VSL, video sales letter, which is like not that long, like maybe 80 minutes, something like this. And then there's the website. You can see. By the way, it's not it's hard to. This has been done with Replit, so it's not WordPress or anything. It's just hard. And as you can see, everything here, I help with myself with AI. And the most important thing is, in fact, the video. So, in fact, what happens is people they see a post, for example, the finalist. They see a post from Paul about AI agents, and there's the link about service, and there's a CTA. And say, okay, you want to know more, you want an AI agent, click on the link. So it's one page because if you click there by just anchors, you see you just it's one page in fact. And if you click on call, you just take your call. There's a form and you do that. So that's how service when you're one person you want to do service usually work. And the video here is very important to connect. So there's the big part of the text. And what I did for that is I will show you the example. Let's close that. Okay. So here, that's a big conversation, as you can see on ChatGPT, where I iterate a lot to find the stuff. So what I did a lot is you really laugh because on this it's not like perfect prompt. So let's be honest, the perfectionist about prompt they will probably be very angry. But on this, I'm more like in a creative process. So usually I don't really care, just give good examples, and then I talk with the AI. So what happened is, as you can see, I give a copy size text, and so how I did that. First, before that, I did some research. So you can do this with Perplexity, Grok, if you like it. Grok is really powerful, even though not people don't like it, but it's it's powerful. But also, when you like your topic, in my case, I mix both Perplexity and I do research myself because I like it, and that's it. So, for example, I said, okay, let's do a swipe. The swipe. It's like when you take from another niche, the copy from another niche, and you take the structure of another niche, and you know that this works. So, for example, I will be transparent. This is a transcript of a video, sales copy of Ravia Bouvala, which is a very effective service guy on marketing agency. You can find his YouTube channel, and he's mostly like a funnel guy. He don't speak about AI almost at all, but he speak about services and marketing. So I take his copy and see I give it like a very brutally, give it everything. And I said, okay, very important. At this moment, I chose a free mini. And so at this moment, you can see when I ask, you see it's recent. So now you see for all because it's the last model I used. But at this moment, it was all free. So I'm on free. And I said, okay, now think, because I want at the beginning of copywriting, I don't want this to write at all. I don't care. I want this to think. And I find it way better. So of course, he's going to write stuff, but what I want is the structure. So it's really good to understand the structure. So, okay, start to give a structure, like, okay, thank you. And now we start to give other one. So you're not forced to do that. One is enough. But at this moment, I was really like doing a lot of stuff. So same, I give from another guy, same, it's reason. Okay, so start to look. And this helped me to think and to find other ideas and to say, okay, what can we adapt with Pop? Then I give a web page of this guy who is doing the SEO. So same, like let's see, okay, on the so this is the text on the page, not the video this time. So I stay. So I remember in the chat. So I continue. Like you can see, there's quite a lot. I think I gave like 4 or 5 copies like this. So I did quite a lot of search before. I even gave a French one, so it's no problem. So you can give other languages; it should understand. Okay, I'm going down. So little slow because there's a lot of stuff. Okay, sometimes you see I'm like, no, don't write, please, just understand. Like, I'm like, and then you see I continue. Sorry for it's quite long. And at this moment, I gave okay, now I gave the info we have about AI agents, so it's the proof or this kind of stuff, use cases. So this is what we found before with, for example, deep search, like help find use cases, problem, thing like this, to be sure everything is good. And we mix that with the experience of Paul. So we mix both, like, and then I put it in the chat. So now we start to understand. Okay, now that's the info I want you to understand, and then you understand the structure. And now I start to say, okay, now you can start to show me what you can watch. So as you can see, there's the big part of so there's a hook, problem. It depends on the structure, but I start to at this moment, I'm like, you see at the mid of the chat, I'm like, okay, I start to understand what I want. See, there's the offer in 6, 7 persuasion, and the end the CTA. So I'm like, okay, what's good? Now I start to dig in each part. I'm like, okay, I don't like this part. Maybe understand they need to understand the difference between agent automation and also doing typo, and they don't care. See, I'm just like I want you to understand. So, but this concept is important on part 2 because that's part of the idea we have. So I go back. You see, you start to add something on the part 2. So this is the iteration part, which is really important. That's where everybody like usually they don't do this part, so you need to read all the part, but you need to change for you. So I'm like, okay, change this. Okay, go back to part one. I said like create something different. I just throw it like this, and so you see, I'm not really happy. So I continue, and I said, okay, this I like it, and so it took this from the data I gave before. Just before, and I start to say, okay, good. So this, I think, it's even the hook of the VSL. I can recognize it. I'm like, okay, good. But now, so I start to read more. The part 4, there's something that I don't really like. See, now I continue the part 5. There's some little stuff, and I said, okay, now add, for example, the use case in the doc. I say, hey, let's continue. So we are at the part 5. It start to be better. See, not the same. Part 6. I'm like, okay, that's the service part. So I'm like, it should be more step-by-step process. More, so explain, and you see, it's still the reasoning model. I'm not asking it for real right. I really want to flesh out the ideas of the copy, which is the most important thing for me, for everybody, because the writing start will be very easy if you do that correctly. So here I'm over offer. I start to look like something quite good. Okay, to be clear, then after I talked with Paul and I said, okay, is it good? Is it correct? And in fact, it's quite correct. So a lot of stuff. Okay, now we are good. And here, I selected every part that you saw before, but the part that I liked, and I said, okay, that's what I want now. What I did is I took a video from Paul Couvert because he's on YouTube. He has one video. One video. I tell him every day, you should do more YouTube video, but at least he did one, and I said, okay, thank you, because what I did is I took the transcript, which is totally free, and you can take it like just by copy paste, and so this is his real voice, and because we don't do VSL, it will be his voice too. So I don't want to sound that it sounds like AI generic stuff. So this is his pure voice. Of course, there's some mistakes, but that's not a problem. And then I said, okay, now you write everything, but with the tone of voice of Paul. And now this is really close to the end stuff. And yet, yes, here you can see there's not a reasoning model, because at this moment I changed for O. It was for O at this moment. And so this, okay, now you write. I want you to write. That's why you see there's the structure plus the tone. And you can, and here, it's almost a perfect match. One thing I was like, it's really impressive, but at the same time, I did a lot of, iteration before. Just, you see, the writing part is very easy if you do the stuff in a good way before. And at the end, now here I'm like, by the way, I like do some research. Let's see what it can find. So it was quite good, not perfect, and also bring some stuff that he did in the past, like we did also together. You see these examples, and then so some iteration, because it was not perfect, and then we go to the end, and it's like at this moment, all the parts are good, so I just go to the end if there's something surprising. But I don't think so. No. In fact, just at the end, it's like I do the same, but just with the websites. So the text on the website, the visual part. So I'm like, okay, now you know everything. Can you adapt this like these competitors, for example? It's not competitors. It's like this guy is doing SEO, and at the end we come back, and you can see that's exactly what's the text on this, and that the text on the video here. That's it. So that's mostly this. And now we have like a VSL, what we can keep for 1-2 years more. There will be some adaptation with new use cases, but the main part is done, and that's it. And that's what I do for other people when I do VSL like this. I do the same stuff.
Wow, Florian, that was incredible. I really loved seeing your thought process, and I can see your writer's mind as well as your strategist mind as well as your AI mind all come together in one workflow. I think that is very incredible to see like how you think about using AI. One thing that stood out to me was your use of different models, in a chat, right? So what other perhaps like types of unique tips do you have when it comes to integrating AI into your writing workflows? Do you like to use Canvas? Are there any other tips and tools that you have?
So is there other tips I would say, of course, I use Canva for LinkedIn and I would say like this. There are some tips, but I don't feel that they're deal breaker. Um, Maybe I did a carousel on that before. It's like you can, for example, download a PDF, carousel of someone else. There is in LinkedIn. You can put it in ChatGPT with a O3 model, for example, a reasoning model, and say, okay, can you analyze the structure? And then you can use the same PDF carousel and you can put it in Canva. And it will literally, you will have every page, and you can change, the text because it's the format that is like this. So that's a way if it's your first time doing carousel and you're like, okay, I need a good structure. Just go on, for example, Odrecha carousel, and you download it, you put it directly in Canva. So if you did that in this kind of the same way, people can change the text and things like this. So they already have a structure. Of course, I don't tell copy the stuff perfectly. I just say it's about structure. So for this, for Canva, it's really useful because you can guess, you can have an idea of how much text you can write on a carousel, how big can be the images by not using a random template, but you literally take a template for someone else. It's easy. You just download it, put it in Canva. It's going to do all the pages like this. Um, that's a good tip, in my opinion. And as you said before, you need to know when you want to change the model, like between reasoning model and the writing model. Even though OpenAI, they said that probably on ChatGPT they're going to make it like so easy that you won't ask at the moment for it. But I think for professional it won't change because there's API, so you need to choose which model you like. So if you want to think, just use a thinking model. That's simple. That's simple. But don't make mistake. Like don't ask ChatGPT for all to do so much lot of strategy because they're not the best. If you need to think, if you need to speak to an expert, go to reasoning model. Then when you know, okay, now I want to write, go to writing model. Depending on the situation, as I said, I think it's really good to start with thinking model to speak, and when you know, okay, that's a good. Now you start to write. So I think learning how to do back and forth is the most important stuff. No.
And I think that is actually one level above what most people are doing. Most people are probably using just one model for everything, and they are probably using the ChatGPT free version. But I highly recommend that you just pay that $20 a month. It is the best investment ever. And then also be like what Florian said, being able to understand the use cases for each model for your niche. So if you are a copywriter, then this is probably important. But if you are in another department and you have other workflows, then you really want to start experimenting and exploring to see what works best. And Florian, what kind of tips do you have for people who are just starting out, still new to the AI journey? What should they do to really get started?
Okay, so you're speaking about people who wants, let's say, who want to use AI or to do business with AI.
Ooh, let's give two tips. I would always love to hear from you. People who want to use AI and people who want to do business with AI.
Okay, so for people who want to use AI, if you're a beginner, like you said, Audrey, you just pay ChatGPT Plus, just try real model like this. You can also go on Google Studio AI, which is you can use a lot of model for free. New model. It's look kind of scary, but you can just talk. So, like said Neil Patel, I think you need to just use it like almost every day. You just try it, just do it. So don't be afraid. Try the thinking model. Ask sometimes just basic question of your everyday life. For example, you can have the application of ChatGPT, and you can change the model, and you have a question. You just ask it. So sometimes you're eating food. Can I eat this? You can take a photo of your plant if she's dying, for example, and and what is this plant? Why is this dying? What can I do? So this is for everyday life. So it's not for business, but on this you can understand that okay, it's not that dumb. That guy can do stuff. So my opinion is when you start, you need to understand that it's not. Of course, it don't solve everything, but it's not completely dumb. So you need to try to understand okay, at which moment there's limits and how much I can use it. So if you start, choose a model. Pay it just 1 month. Just try. There's a lot of professionals that don't even do that. So just try, and try in everyday life and detail in your business. Just try it. Simple. And you want to tip for builders, let's say,
Yes.
for AI, let's say. So
Yes.
if let's say if you now second part, if you want to use AI for your business, so there's many things you can do. If you want to make money with AI, now you need a really deeper understanding. There's two big things. Or you're a builder, so you're going to build tools with AI. So you can use tools like a cursor or replics. This is more technical stuff. You need to be ready, even though it's less complicated. You do vibe coding. Coding is easy, but you will spend a lot of time on your computer doing stuff with tools. So if you're at ease with this, then you can be a builder. It's really way more easy than before, but keep in mind that it's still something that you spend a lot of time in front of your computer. If you're more like, let's say, marketing services, something like this, then you need to more to be like a power user, I would say. So you don't especially need to do automation. You can, but first you need to have a perfect understanding, really great understanding of the tools you use. So for example, if it's ChatGPT, you need to understand all the features for example, to use a ChatGPT project to create a post easily, to create a copy easily, to earn a lot of time. GPTs, things like this. For GPTs, it's really easy. Like, you don't need to be a builder to do a GPT. This is more for power user. So if you're like in services and you don't have time, you're not really technical, but you still want to make money with AI, then choose one or two tools, like some tools. Not a lot like writing models like this, and dig all the features. So use Cloud AI, use Gemini, whatever, and you need to understand them perfectly. But that's my thing. I think that's the last thing I can say is, and if you want to write, for example, like you do in services like this, continue to dig more on the model you like. Okay, because there's a different use case for different niches. And that's it, because I'm lost now. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, no, but Florian, thanks so much. I think what you said are very powerful things, right? You either be a power builder or you're a power user. I, for one, am a power user. I think Florian has a mix of both, which is also amazing. I think for yourself as a listener, figure out what is that niche, what is your objective, then work towards that, and also figure out what are your skill sets, because AI is evolving very quickly. You don't want to spread yourself too thin. You want to make sure that you really learn how to maximize it with your current skill sets to achieve the results that you want. And Florian, with that, we are at the end of this podcast. Thank you for your time. Where can our listeners find you, and who should reach out to you?
Okay, so you can find me on LinkedIn, so Florian Camiade. You can find me also on Twitter, but it's kind of the same stuff. So LinkedIn is really great, and you can talk, you can send stuff, and at the same time, if you're looking for more, let's say, the marketing part, the writing part, like if you want to grow, to understand AI at the same time, speak about a topic like this, you can go on my LinkedIn, and if you want more to build stuff, then you can go on my friend part, like Paul Couvert that I showed before. I work with him too, but he is more showing technical stuff. So if you're more a builder agent AI, go see Paul Couvert. He's doing a lot of stuff. Same LinkedIn, there's a lot of stuff on this. That's it.
Thank you so much, Florian. It was a pleasure having you on the show, and thank you folks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to the AI Market Display Book and hit the bell for more actionable marketing insights. We'll see you next time. Take care.